Kuala Lumpur has always been the kind of city that surprises travelers, a place where glass towers rise beside night markets and ancient mosques stand just steps away from futuristic malls. But in 2025, that effortless blend of old and new feels different, and the atmosphere reveals a tourism crisis that few people expected. For years, KL positioned itself as Southeast Asia's affordable urban gateway, a city where every traveler could find comfort, culture, and excitement without breaking the bank. Today, that value equation feels like it's beginning to crack, creating a silent downturn that locals and visitors can both sense. Malaysia's tourism numbers were once driven by affordability, convenience, and warmth. But rising costs, shifting global behavior, and a deeper emotional disconnect are now reshaping the way travelers experience Kuala Lumpur. Western visitors once praised KL for being a budget-friendly Singapore, a city with similar modern comforts but far lower prices. Now, with inflation climbing and currency fluctuations affecting local consumer life, even KL's affordability feels less certain. At the street level, travelers describe something more subtle, a softness in the city's once bustling rhythm. They still see the crowds, but the emotional energy feels thinner, quieter, and less welcoming than before. This shift didn't begin with a sudden event. It arrived slowly, through changing tourist habits, global economic tension, and Malaysia's struggle to redefine its travel identity after years of stagnation. Kuala Lumpur's skyline still impresses visitors from every angle. But a beautiful skyline doesn't guarantee connection, and travelers are beginning to question whether KL offers the depth and meaning they now crave. The city's malls, once famously packed, now feel more like polished shells, immaculate but emotionally muted. Visitors walk through these vast air-conditioned spaces, sensing the disconnect between architecture and experience. At the same time, KL's famous nightlife districts like Bukit Bintang aren't buzzing the way they once did. The neon lights still glow, but the crowds move slower, more cautiously, and with less excitement. Many travelers describe KL as safe and comfortable, yet strangely subdued. It's a place where everything functions smoothly, but less vibrantly than before. Part of the slowdown stems from regional competition. Bangkok has regained its chaotic charm, Ho Chi Minh City is booming with youthful energy, and Bali still draws the global wanderlust crowd despite its struggles. Malaysia, in comparison, feels like it's still searching for its next identity. The city hasn't chosen whether it wants to be a cultural hub, a luxury hub, or a budget hub, and that indecision creates confusion for visitors. KL's deep cultural richness remains powerful, but it's not being showcased to the world the way it deserves. Instead of highlighting its diverse heritage, the city doubled down on malls, megadevelopments, and commercial spaces. This created a tourism model that looked attractive from the outside but lacked emotional resonance on the inside. Travelers are now noticing the gap and quietly choosing destinations with stronger storytelling. Even Malaysia's iconic attractions, Petronas Towers, Batu Caves, KL Forest Eco Park, remain visually stunning, but their emotional impact has become softer as travelers seek experiences beyond sightseeing and shopping. Meanwhile, locals feel the financial pressure more intensely than ever. Businesses that relied on consistent tourism are struggling, and the rising cost of living affects the mood of the entire city. Visitors feel this shift without needing anyone to explain it. They sense the tension behind the service, the caution behind smiles, and the fatigue that comes from economic uncertainty. Malaysia's tourism meltdown is not a dramatic crash. It's a subtle unraveling of momentum. It's the fading of a rhythm that once defined KL as one of Southeast Asia's most welcoming cities. Travelers today are looking for authenticity, emotional warmth, human connection, cultural soul. Kuala Lumpur possesses all these things, but they lie beneath layers of development and commercialization that overshadow them. Neighborhoods like Kampong Baru, Chow Kit, and Brickfields still hold the charm that made KL beloved. But these areas feel pushed aside by newer, shinier developments that lack the same cultural impact. As travelers explore the city in 2025, they find beauty, but also contradiction. KL feels modern yet hesitant, rich yet restrained, vast yet uncentered. This uncertainty creates an emotional distance that influences how long people stay, how much they spend, and whether they return. Tourism cannot thrive on aesthetics alone. It needs emotional trust and connection. Malaysia's tourism identity must now evolve. It can no longer market itself solely on affordability or convenience. Travelers want meaning, depth, and experiences that feel uniquely Malaysian. The country stands at a crossroads as regional competition intensifies. Cities around Southeast Asia are refining their identities, and KL must now decide how it wants the world to remember it. This could be the beginning of a powerful transformation, but only if Malaysia recognizes that the tourism meltdown is not about numbers, it's about emotion. Travelers aren't avoiding KL because it's unattractive. They're avoiding it because it no longer feels like the unforgettable experience it once promised. And in 2025, feeling matters more than ever. Visitors arriving in Kuala Lumpur today often describe the same initial reaction. It looks impressive, but something feels off. That feeling is the defining emotion behind Malaysia's tourism meltdown. KL's modern infrastructure remains world-class, yet the emotional energy that once filled its markets, food streets, and cultural areas has weakened. This change shapes whether visitors stay longer or move on quickly. Western travelers now stay fewer nights in KL than at any time in the past decade. They arrive, take photos of Petronas towers, eat local food, and then fly out to cheaper or more emotionally engaging cities nearby. Travelers want cultural spark, and KL once delivered that effortlessly. But now, the city feels caught between corporate expansion and cultural preservation. Food remains a highlight, but even that emotional anchor is beginning to shift. Hawker centers are quieter, prices are rising, and the charm of cheap and unforgettable is fading. Meanwhile, the city's rapid development over the years has created spaces that feel impressive but less intimate. Malls dominate the landscape, overshadowing traditional markets that once defined KL's soul. Even Chinatown and Little India, once full of irresistible character, feel more curated and less organic than before. And travelers notice when authenticity fades beneath modernization. Malaysia always excelled at offering cultural warmth, but that warmth now feels harder to access. Locals are friendly but tired, kind but stretched thin by rising costs and long work hours. This emotional exhaustion affects tourism in ways numbers can't measure. When a city feels tired, its visitors feel it too. KL is also facing a narrative challenge. Malaysia's travel story hasn't evolved in years, leaving travelers unsure of what makes the country unique in a crowded tourism landscape. Travelers now crave destinations with strong emotional identity, places like Kyoto, Hanoi, Chiang Mai, or Ubud. Kuala Lumpur's identity feels blurred in comparison, a mix of everything but not anchored deeply in anything. Malaysia's tourism decline is not caused by one problem. It's a combination of many subtle shifts, and together they create an experience that feels less compelling than before. Airlines, hotels, and restaurants confirm the same pattern. Visitors are spending less time and less money in the city. Shorter stays mean weaker emotional engagement, which leads to fewer repeat visitors. Travelers are also more sensitive to energy. In KL, the energy feels slower, more cautious, and less vibrant than a few years ago. This shapes their stories and influences what they tell others when they return home. Tourism thrives on emotional storytelling, but KL's current story feels muted. Visitors leave with photos but fewer life-changing memories. But this meltdown also reveals something hopeful. Malaysia's next tourism chapter could be extraordinary if the city embraces its true strengths. Kuala Lumpur's diverse culture, food heritage, and human warmth remain unmatched. What's missing is visibility. The world hasn't been shown KL's real soul in years. If Malaysia shifts its focus back to authenticity and culture, its tourism identity could become one of Southeast Asia's strongest. The city has everything it needs to rise again. It just needs to reconnect with its emotional roots. Travelers want connection, and Malaysia is naturally gifted in offering it. But the city must let its cultural layers breathe again instead of hiding them behind commercial developments. KL can become a destination of meaning instead of a stopover of convenience. This requires storytelling, preservation, and a willingness to embrace imperfection. Malaysia's tourism meltdown is not permanent. It's a sign that KL must evolve rather than expand, grow deeper rather than wider. When the city rediscovers its emotional authenticity, travelers will return with excitement instead of hesitation. A city with Malaysia's spirit cannot stay quiet forever. Kuala Lumpur is not broken. It is simply in transition. A new identity is waiting just beneath the surface, ready to emerge when the city embraces its cultural soul again. And when that happens, KL won't just recover its tourism, it will redefine it. Because in the end, Malaysia's greatest strength has never been its buildings or malls. It has always been its people, its energy, and its emotions. And that is the version of KL the world is waiting to feel again.